Hello again, everybody. This is going to be section 1.4. Section 1.4 is going to talk about some of the really crucial things with angles that are going to show up over and over in the course. So, the first thing we want to do is talk about the word adjacent and adjacent angles. Adjacent means next to. So if you think of adjacent, always think of next to. And in this case, let's say we've got this angle and it's split into two different angles, angle 1 and 2. Angles 1 and angle 2 here would be adjacent because they're next to each other, but they don't overlap. You see how they just share this side, but they do not overlap. So that's one really crucial part with adjacent angles is they can't overlap, but they have to be next to each other. A linear pair is the next thing. A linear pair is going to be made up of adjacent angles, but they form a line. That's what linear comes from. So here, angles 1 and angle 2 would make a linear pair in this case because they're adjacent, and when you add them together, they make a straight line. All right. The next thing we need to do is talk about complementary versus supplementary. Complementary angles. These angles are two angles that add to 90 degrees. Okay. The next one is going to be supplementary angles. These are going to be two angles that add to 180 degrees. Another way to say this is an angle and its complement, or an angle and its supplement. So let's go ahead and do an example really quick just to kind of give you guys an idea. So let's say I've got the angle of 43 degrees, okay? Let's find the complement and supplement. Okay, so to find the complement, we're going to take the 90 degrees, because 90 degrees is what they add up to, and we're going to subtract 43 degrees, which should come out to 47 degrees. So the complement of 43 degrees is 47 degrees. The supplement, remember supplementary means they add up to 180 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and subtract this off. And this should come out to 137 degrees. So that's how you do complements and supplements. Hopefully nothing too crazy there. The next thing I would like to talk about in this section is going to be vertical angles. Vertical angles will show up over and over and over. Vertical angles. These are formed by two intersecting lines. Okay, so let's see, we've got a line here and a line here. The vertical angles are going to be, like, let's say this is angle 1 and this is angle 2. Angle 1 and angle 2 in this case are vertical angles. Vertical angles does not necessarily mean that they're up and down. They could be left and right, they could be diagonal, but they have to be directly across from each other like this when two lines intersect. Guys, I want to make sure I mention there's no such thing as horizontal angles. They're all called vertical angles if they have this kind of pattern. So another really big thing with vertical angles are congruent. Okay. And one thing to mention about congruent as well. Congruent, we can use this marking. It's like an equal sign with a little tilde squiggly over it. That means congruent as well. So in this case, we would have angle 1 is congruent or equal to angle 2. And again, that means that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, or the measure or the number of degrees of angle 1 is equal to the measure or the number of degrees of angle 2. All right, guys, so I will be back for the last section, which is going to be section 6. See you shortly.